Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach. What's going on, guys? I'm doing this one before the teams, so that's unusual, but I'm going around to the mate's place watching some footy. Got to get in the gym, so I thought, oh, geez, I don't want to be doing this at like 11 o'clock, so I thought I'd just smash it out now. Now, a lot of weeks I haven't really had to talk too much about the teams. There hasn't been too much carnage, so if there's carnage this week, I'll be filthy and go to my TikTok, and I'll probably have an updated trades or something like that on there, but fingers crossed, the teams are probably dropping by the time I drop this video, so I hope they're all good. But I want to talk about my trades this week and a few things that you guys brought up in the live session. A lot of people gearing up for a double upgrade next week, including myself, Jack Steele. You could throw in Marshall in that conversation, bit of injury. The Grundy to Sweet conversation. My thoughts on that, and Bailey Dale. So first things first, let's have a look at how the side's shaping up. We'll talk a bit of VC and C. I think it's pretty simple on the skipper front. Like, it's got to be gone against a fairly weak Geelong ruck outfit. But then the VC is tough. I'm sort of looking at Sheasel, could tear it apart. I'm looking at Dacos. You just feel like he's a bit overdue. And then clearly Tom Green. I don't know. I think I'm looking at Tom Green, but I'm not too sure. So, look, I wanted to first touch on, you got to get Jordan Sweet into the team. It's a no-brainer. It's like break even of negative 113 or something. Jake Rogers also looked super classy. His scores aren't looking as good as Sweet's, but he's just a very promising youngster that's got a lot of hype about him. And sometimes there's players where their stats, say whatever. I mean, he scored well, but you look at him as a player and you watch him and you're like, ooh, this kid's ready. Like, he's going to have some quiet games for sure, but he's going to impact some matches significantly as well. A lot of talk about Dan Brosio as well. It's a simple one for me. If he's named, you can keep him. If he's not, clearly you trade him. But even if he is named, it's still touch and go. Like, I'm trading him because it just makes sense for the numbers that I'm working with and what I need to do. And his break-even's in a spot where he could make a little bit of coin, but he could also just somewhat plateau and make 5, 10, 15K. So you're not losing much if you trade him anyway. Now, a lot of people talking about Jordan Sweet, trading out Brody Grundy. Now, haven't we been here before? Haven't we had this conversation already? Before his buy, people are like, oh, God, I'm trading out Grundy, rah. And at the time, I was like, back the bloke in. Comes out after his buy, scores 158. Fantastic, mate. 83 last week. All right, wasn't his best, but if you're going to have the odd down game, 83 is not the worst. The way I'm approaching Jordan Sweet is a bit like this, and I would encourage you to do it, whether it's with Tom Powell, whether it's with Combin, or whether it's Sam Darcy. I just do not like trading out premiums full stop, let alone in the ruck. If you're going to trade him out for Grundy or bring in Sweet for Grundy, you'd want to have a pretty clear-cut plan of how you can bring a premium back in 4 to 6 weeks, because I've seen many a mid-price ruckman do me dirty. You can really get burnt on the mid-price rucks. Sweet is looking really good at the moment, but nothing's to say that he doesn't go beyond 75 for the next 3 weeks. I bloody hope not, but I'd be way more comfortable keeping Grundy, throwing Livingston or whoever your R3 is into the forward line, and then going old mate Sweet from there. That is the way I'll be approaching it. Where is he? He's like 150 something, isn't he? There you are, buddy. That's the way I would be approaching it. And I'm also looking at, and reason being is, it's just trying to play the percentages. He may score fantastically as your R2, but it could equally be a headache. It just could. Now, Tommy Powell, stunk it up, mate. You're gone. And like I said before, Rogers, really liking the look of him. I'm not sure I'm loving the change up mid-season in the format. I don't know if I like them throwing a new format at us mid-season. And then also, we're going to throw an upgrade in there. Whoops, I need to, activate that bad boy. Yes, please. And I'm pulling the trigger on what did I say? Jordan Dawson for D'Ambrosio. So that's the way we're approaching that one. And they will be my trades for this week. assuming that nothing crazy happens at the team. So you can bring Dawson in for probably Rogers. I might fling a few things around to have the best lineup, because I'd happily field McKercher. I prefer to field McKercher over Wilson, I think. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much. I'd probably prefer Wilson over Darcy, but it's not quite going to work. Anyway, we'll play around with that later. But that's the way I'm looking at that. Bailey Dale, not a fan. Not a fan. Now, look, Luke Beveridge just makes me nervous. He makes me super nervous. And again, it's just trying to play the percentages. I'm not saying he won't be a fantastic option. He might. If he stays at half back, then he will be. But look at the inconsistency. Look at the change in position. And we've seen it recently, even last year. Just we saw the change up in role throughout the year. I mean, obviously not all of this is to do with role. But you can even see it in his rebound 50s. He has 6 and 11 and 6 and 5 there. Then he has, streaks where he's not getting much at all, and it changes. Beware of Beveridge, mate. Beware. So we've got plenty of options down back. Jack Sinclair's only 50, 60k more. Way more trust in him. So that's the way I'll be looking at that one. And then, unfortunately, Jack Steele, Rowan Marshall. Yeah, it's probably a trade. I mean, I'm hearing there's some soreness in the knee for Steele, which is a real disaster. And he's just finally got back to some good form. And I guess I can't find it right here at the moment, but there you go. There's some talk about Marshall there, but injury concerns, high break evens. I'd normally ride the wave with a premium with a high break even if there's no role change or injury. But if there's an injury concern or a change in role, then that's when I'm going to pull the trigger. So that's why I rode the wave with Tommy Green, because nothing changed. It was just a matter of time. He's a good player. But Jack Steele, if he's got a bit of an injury, probably got to turf him. So there wasn't too much to talk about this week, but it was just a lot to talk about those comments. It was very heavy comments on the how do I bring Sweet in, and do we trust Dale? If I've missed anything, let me know. But replace Steele with a guy like Dawson if you trust him. Parrish is around the mark. LDU around the mark. Jack Sinclair around the mark. Bontempelli could come in this week for sure. One thing you want to set yourself up for is bring in Petrarca next week. I think that's a fantastic option. Not going to get him too much cheaper than that. And just sit and wait and see what the forward line brings us. It's not bringing us much at the moment, but let's be patient. Something might bob up, whether it's Zorko, whether it's Rankin tonight. At the moment, I'm happy to just spend my money in the midfield and the back line because we can trust those players a bit more. So I'm thinking Dacos or Green for my VC. But if you've got Zach Butters, I'd throw it on him tonight. But I don't, unfortunately. That's also part of my plan to beef this midfield up. But I think that's just about it. Again, fingers crossed there's no carnage on these teams. Otherwise, I'll be doing a little TikTok video about that one. But cross the fingers. We've got an hour and the teams will be out. All the best. Have a good weekend. I'll chat to you soon. Cheers.